Hello Slayers of the Grey. Today we're going to be painting Tigra, Echo, and Ronin from Marvel Crisis Protocol, and thanks to Atomic Mass Games for sending me this box a few months ago. And we're going to be priming them all with I believe it's Desert Tan by Vallejo. It's their air primers, which are amazing, so priming all three of them in this. We're going to be using a mixture of speed paints, war paints, historical paints, masterclass paints. We're starting off with Tigra here, and we're grabbing some matte white, and we're going to sponge it onto her. I want to do opposite of just dry brushing white and then making it pop like crazy. I just wanted to get more of the higher areas with the brighter color, almost giving it a lighting effect, and also just making sure that the speed paints are really going to pop on this. And we're starting off with some Crusader skin. This is going to be going on all over her skin, and with the I'm pretty sure this is Desert Tan. I find it gives a nice base for the Crusader skin and making it a little bit darker, making it a little bit more like the artwork, which is really cool. Kind of gives it almost like a orangey brownish tan to it. And I will forget her tail, but I will come back later. You're going to see when I put that on as well. And of course, you know, when it's on a smooth surface speed paint, sometimes it, you know, kind of coffee stains, kind of blotches up a little bit. And at this time here, I'm still using a lot of 1.0 stuff. I've recently gotten some speed paints from the Army Painter to replace some of the ones I had, so that's kind of fun. I'm able to put some of the new 2.0 to the test. Blinding light, now we're doing her clothing, her shirt there. Goddess glow for her hair. Usually I use this for scabbards and handles and stuff like that. I just found she had this nice reddish brown hair, and I found this was the perfect match for it. And again, like you can see, I probably watered down a bit more to paint on that one just to really make the highlights pop. And now we're using some Raging Sea for the rest of her clothing. What a beautiful color though. Like, it is amazing. It does go on really well. It does a good job covering, gets a lot of the details. And again, you know, people say speed paints is like the cheap way of painting. I find it's one of the best ways to learn brush control, to be honest, because you really can't make mistakes with speed paints. So coming back with the Crusader skin to do her tail there, and then coming back with the Raging Sea to finish off the cuffs on her hands, or the, is that what they're called? I don't know if they're, no, they're not called. Anyways, gauntlets, something like that. Anyways, like I'm saying, speed paints, they are good. They're great for teaching you, I find, how to control your brush and making sure that you're actually, you know, following the lines, trying not to cross over, trying not to mess everything up so that you don't have to come back and touch anything up. Brigandine Brown, now this, I believe, you know, I have so many paints, I don't know if it's Masterclass or if it's, I think this one is a Masterclass paint, if I'm not mistaken though. It is a very dark brown, and I'm using this for all her stripes. Now, one thing when you are using speed paint, sometimes when you try to put some color on the top of it, it will blend into it, so they barely show up on camera, but in person they do. Now I'm doing something really weird here with the statue that she has, because it is like a pinkish color in the artwork, so pastel salmon. And there you have it, folks. Tigra is done. We're going to move on to the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you are new, welcome, and I hope you enjoy these videos. Don't forget to comment down below as well what you're working on and what you think of my videos and what you think of my paint job. Next, we're moving on to Echo. Same primer, but this time we're going to keep it as is, and we are going to use some speed paints directly over it, which is kind of surprising sometimes, because this is, yes, a lighter, still a light primer, which is what Army Painter recommends, any kind of light primer, and this I found was a good way to do that. And that Blinding Light was the first one, and now Peachy Skin. And again, she had darker skin, so having this darker tan or this lighter tan underneath kind of darkens the peachy flesh, doing a really good job creating the color you want without thinking twice about it. Sorry if I went out of focus there. I don't know why my camera just decided to do that, and have some fun. A ruddy fur now just for the stone that she's stepping on the ground there. Occultist cloak now for all of her clothing. This is pretty much the longest part on this miniature-ish. It is again a beautiful color, and again it covers up this light tan. I'm pretty sure this is Desert Tan. I hope I didn't make a mistake, because there's another one that's very close. It's Israeli Sand. They're very, very close, so it could be either or. So don't completely quote me on which one I use. If you know better, comment down below and tell my viewers which one it is I use, because I'm pretty sure it's the Desert Tan, but I think that might be even a lighter yellow than this one. Like I said, not 100% sure. I'm sorry. Sometimes I record these things way in advance. I forgot to actually take a picture of it. Usually I put it in shot, in frame is the color I'm using for primers or for paints and that, so I know which one to put up when I'm editing the videos. And this time I completely forgot. Even though I did it prime to 3, I never once put the paint in front of it. Satchel Brown is our next speed paint for her hair. Her hair does go down her face, so just be careful with that. Again, I'm telling you, speed paints is the best way to learn brush control, because you really gotta be careful. Like, some people just blotch it all over a miniature and then come back with highlights. I mean, you can do that, and I have done that, where you blotch it all over the miniature to base color and then you come in and highlight everything. With Warpaints Fanatics or any other acrylic paints you have, like Citadel, or what now called Warhammer paints, or AK, or Vallejo, or whatever color you use. Go check out my Facebook page. I have a poll going on asking you guys what color or what paint company do you use. And I'd like to know, just to see what people are using. So far, Army Painter's coming up ahead, which I was a little bit surprised at first, but I guess people who like my work also like Army Painter. Come back to the Matte White here, doing all her little designs. Yes, I'm putting my thumb all over stuff just to clean it up, making sure I'm getting it. I'm doing the little hand. It looks like the white hand of Sauron on her face. I had so much fun doing that. I went real close. I was so proud of how it looked. Like, it looks like the artwork. Some enchanted steel now, of course, for her blades. It's not a super bright silver, but it does the job. And look at that. I mean, I even did her eyes. I was able to do her eyes. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, comment. Do everything you can to get this channel really blowing up on YouTube. Get that algorithm thinking. Let's move on to Ronin now. That's right, same primer again. This time I think we're going to be using a lot more different kind of paints, including some Raven Black in the airbrush. This is to save myself some time. Yeah, I could have just primed the entire thing with a darker gray and made my life simpler, but I had some leftover primer in my airbrush at the time, so I just went with the Desert Tan and then just did this here. This is also another good way of learning your control with your airbrush, which is what I'm really trying to do as much as possible, is to get just where I needed the paint to go. And if I hit other places, I'm going to come back with some Warpaints Fanatics and cover them up. But then now, it is just mostly to get a nice base coat on the miniature. Deep gray is my next color here. Going to be highlighting all the raised areas, some of the armor, some of the clothing, you know, and also preparing for another color that's going to come in later, because I noticed he has some grays, but he also has like a grayish blue hint to him on the artwork. So I wanted to try and stay, you know, I try and stay as close as possible to artwork when it comes to companies like this. Like, when it comes to your army, you want to have your own personal touch to it, and I still have a hard time with that. If I don't have something to follow, I feel like I can't mesh the colors properly. You know, I'm not a true artist, okay? I am not an artist. I'm a miniature painter, and I try to do the best I can with what I have. So following the artwork is what I do, and it gets me as close as possible to what I like to get done. Company Gray is again highlighting the same kind of things here, but just some more areas that are specific. Some Howling Sand. This is I've found this color to be really nice for like string or rope, or like, especially like when it comes to here. Also, like some parts of the arrows here. I just found it was doing a good job of just giving it a little bit of color. Grim Black now for his actual bow. Now you have the option of doing, I believe it's 2 swords, or a sword and a bow, or a sword and a fist. I think he has a couple hand options. I don't remember if the other sword is changeable or not, but I know where the bow is, it is. But I figured I'd go with the bow. It's you know, it's Hawkeye in his Ronin disguise, so you know, when he goes rogue and stuff and tries to go after the criminal syndicate and that. So I figured it'd be a little different. The Darkness. Oh yes, breaking into darkness. Now you think by the color in the left hand corner this thing is black. No, it is a very dark blue. Like, it's just very, very dark blue and beautiful color. Tyrion Navy now coming in to do some of the gauntlets, some of his shirt, some of his pants stuff, just to give it that blue turnbull. Tyrion Navy, I find, whoop, then drop the miniature, which happens often, but usually I catch it and, you know, I delete that part, but it's funny to have little bloopers once in a while. This is going to cover up a little bit, but I, of course, didn't, like, you know, I wet it down a little bit more, my brush, just to make it more like a glaze to be, or like a wash, to be able to still show those highlights come through in those areas. Some Desert Brown now. We're going to be doing this for, this is probably the longest part on this miniature. I'm going to do all his trims. Now I'm going to fade out at some points and cut through ahead and so on, because the next part would have been like 20 minutes of a video, just me getting all these tiny little lines done all over the clothing. You can see that I was doing the rope. Now I'm doing like some of the patches. You can see on the knees, around the side of his dressing, on his coat there. You can see that coming up. Again, this is to replicate a golden color. I didn't want pure gold because I think that would have been way too shiny. Yes, you can put a wash on top of everything after. You can put a matte varnish if you want. You can put a satin varnish just to dull down a bit your shiny metallics, but I didn't think this was appropriate for this here. And you can see I'm still going on here, and this is sped up 4 times. So you're thinking about this time frame is about 4 minutes in this video, 3 minutes maybe. You're talking to cut out probably a whole bunch. You're talking about probably like 20 some minutes just doing the trim on this. So I don't usually go this crazy and do this many details, but he had this many details and I wanted to showcase them. And I want to show you guys that it's actually easy for a simple painter like me, who is not a pro, who's not a master painter, but has fun painting miniatures and hopes you guys enjoy painting miniatures as much as I do, and loves watching how you can get a job done pretty quickly with the paints that I'm using. And if you don't have the Army Painter paints, you know, go ahead and feel free to use what you can. You saw I just used some polished silver on his blade. Now I'm using some ashen stone, which I'm really starting to like as stonework. No matter what the base color is, I find that the ashen stone comes in, gives it a grayish hue, gives whatever color underneath the time to pop. And then here I'm just being a smart aleck here and using some matte white in the airbrush to make that lantern really glow. Instead, you could just paint this on. I was kind of going for an OSL, but I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to get it over the entire miniature, but I just want to also learn a little bit more control of my airbrush. And yeah, I do get like the little pillars there, like the part of the lantern. And then the molten orange, I come back in, hit that a bit too, but it makes it a little bit brighter with the white underneath, make it really glow. But I fixed those little in between sticks. I come back in with like a sort of like a grayish white color just to recolor it up. And it does a good job. And just a little spurts here of some orange magma just to really make those lanterns brighten up. Well, we are finishing off Ronin. That means we finished off that character pack from Atomic Mass Games in Marvel Crisis Protocol. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I want to thank Atomic Mass Games for sending me this box. Looking forward to the future where they can get more Canadians or their supporters or creators more stuff to be able to paint for them. And here you go, there's the box, and there's my miniatures. I want to thank you guys again, and don't forget to slay the gray, one miniature at a time.